So step two, so first you found your plan. Step two, really suggest working with a cooperating forester. Cooperating foresters signed an agreement with the state of Wisconsin to practice sound forest management on MFL and non-MFL lands. And these folks really are beneficial to landowners in completing sound forestry. They do have annual requirements to the state. They have to do continuing education credits. They do have to file stumpage value reports and accomplishment reports with the DNR. But yeah, both industrial and private foresters can be in this group of cooperating foresters, but really can help you get your timber sale established. You know, going through all the paperwork, as I mentioned before, the MFL cutting notices, filing the reports, finding the contractors to do the job, and writing those timber sale contracts, getting that in writing. And probably the most important, one of the most important things is the on-site administration, actually being out on the job while things are getting cut. This is where, you know, it's very important to have some eyes on the ground and make sure everything's being implemented properly, and catch anything, if there are any issues, trying to catch those early on rather than waiting till the end of the project. Cooperating foresters can also ground truth your practice, which is a good idea to get somebody out to look at your practice. I mentioned before, you know, feel free to walk out there yourself, look at it, you know, get your thoughts on it, but also to have a professional forester come out and look to make sure, in fact, that what's being scheduled is in fact still needed on the ground. So where do you find the forestry, cooperating foresters and other foresters for that matter? On the Wisconsin DNR website, if you look on the top of this site here, there's a link to this site. There's a forestry assistance locator. This tool is very handy for finding foresters throughout the state. You simply scroll down to the county that your land is located, and then you can select the forester type. Down below, you'll see there is a cooperating forester tab and also a DNR tax law forestry specialist as well. So very useful when looking for cooperating foresters. You can even go further down and query through what services the cooperating foresters provide. For example, if you were looking for a certified plan writer to write an MFL plan, there is a tab underneath the cooperating forester tab where you could click just certified plan writers, and then that would pull up all the foresters that have those credentials to write a MFL plan for you. So very good tool for finding cooperating foresters and tax law foresters throughout the state. So sustainable forest management really does rest on a three-legged stool, you know, between the landowner, the timber producer, so the actual logger, timber producer out implementing the practice, and then the forestry professionals that are helping assist with the sale and get everything taken care of. Communication between all three of these is vital, and if any of these are missing, you know, whereas one of these isn't in the loop on what's going on, is really when troubles can arise. So really keeping the open communication between all three, the landowner, the timber producer, forestry professionals, all being on the same page so everybody knows what's going on, really does set yourself up for a successful timber sale. So landowners' roles, I've kind of alluded to some of this already with talking about the continuum of remaining in compliance and what you need to do, but really the staying on task and timely establishment of the mandatory practices is a crucial role of the landowner. Really, we should strive to have services accepted within the year the practice is scheduled. So there again, what I mean by that, having a service agreement or timber sale contract in place before, no later than the year that practice was scheduled. And then really the landowner's responsibility is ensuring that the county cutting notices and Wisconsin DNR cutting notices are filed before any logging starts. Here again, working with a cooperating forester, forestry professional, they can help assist with this paperwork. And then really making sure that the practices are being implemented as prescribed on that cutting notice and the plan. It really does come back on the landowner. So if there are any issues with the sale and what's done, that would come back on the landowner. So that's the importance also of having a contract in place to protect yourself and ensure that things are being implemented properly. And then lastly, as I mentioned, filing the volumes that were cut. And this really notifies the tax law forestry specialist that the sale is completed and everything can be closed out, MFL plan updated at that point. So timber producers' roles, this really is where the rubber meets the road. These are the folks that are out actually implementing the practice, and this really can be where a lot of the troubles can happen as well. So it's very important that the timber producers are implementing the practice properly and fulfilling the MFL management plan, and really making sure, the other thing too is making sure we have the right timber producer on the right project, the right equipment mix on the right job. There's all kinds of different pieces of logging equipment and stuff, and really trying to make sure we have a good fit and a good producer that can complete the practice as prescribed. Here again, this is where having a cooperating forester or forestry professional can really help pick that right person and make sure that we get the job done properly. And then administration, checking on these jobs while they're active. You definitely want to give these folks space when they're out there operating. At the same time, it is good to show some presence, being out there checking on things and making sure things are being done properly.